All right, time to get some stuff done in the shop again, but let's get the fire started. All right, now what we're going to be working on today is these blocks I cut the other week. I'll put a link to the video here. We're going to dry fit, maybe permanently fit these blocks around the wood burner insert and make a heat sink out of it, and it'll make it a little safer so nothing wooden or something that can get burnt can lean up against it. So let's get to stacking all these things, and then we'll stop tripping over them. Now earlier you saw me cut all these blocks. They're all 16 by 4 now. So I'm going to stack these around the wood burner, and that'll be the start of our heat sink. And we're just going to see how well they stack. If they stack nice, we'll just leave them as is. But if they don't, we'll mortar them together at some point. But we'll have to wait for a couple warmer days. I don't know if you can see my breath in here. It's 39 degrees. So we want to try and get as efficiently heat the workshop here as we can. All right, well, let's get to stacking. All right, now a lot of this is just going to be trial and error. I don't really know how this fits in here, so here we go. I do know I'm going to start in the back. I'll get these away from the side. Alright, now let me show you what I ended up with. So I just made these stack on the corners. I'll just cut blocks and just tap them in here. Looks like I'll have to cut 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 18 blocks. Yeah, but all I did was stack it. And this is actually, like, I can't really even wiggle it. So, really happy with that. Yeah, I still have a lot of blocks to cut, but yeah, overall, I wasn't sure what I was going to get out of this. These are just pavers that I picked up from a friend's parents that were moving. Just wanted it off of out of their yard, so I took them, not knowing what I was going to use them for. But I looked at just putting landscaping blocks around here, and I was north of $300 for you know, like the tumbled looking rock. So yeah, it needs some adjustments, but this gives me, I just couldn't picture it. So that's why I just stacked them all up today. But I don't think I'm going to mortar it. This ain't going anywhere. And this is the best part. So, you know, these are just however thickness. That fits perfectly right under there. So that's as high as I'll stack it. And then, you know, that makes 3.5 of the sides nice and safe. And then it's a good heat sink. So we're going to see how well this works today. So let's go get the temp probe. Alright, so this is how we're going to check to see if the heat sink's actually working. This is my infrared thermometer. It's basically just a laser pointer that wherever you aim it, I'll tell the temperature. I use it from obviously checking heat sinks to see if they work, to baby formula or baby's milk, just to make sure it's not too hot when I heat it up. Yeah, very versatile tool. Dogs love it. I think you've seen it in other videos, me using this. But right now we're at 35 degrees, 36 degrees, depending on where I aim it. We have a fire going. I just stoked it up with a couple logs. And it is 40 degrees right now inside the workshop. It's, I don't know, slowly moving up. But let's get into some other projects and see if these blocks next to the wood stove works. Alright, let's go to the next small project here on the farm. Alright, so we might be on something here. So it's only been a couple minutes. I just went and was getting some material set up for the next project. And I was like, you know what? I'm just itching to know. So I came back. So we started off at 35. So towards the bottom near the floor, it's still 35, 36, 37. But closer to the top, we are 38, 40, 41. Right up top, the top block is 90 degrees. Oh. But yeah, I think this is going to really work. Alright, it's been running for a while. We got our therm camera out again. And you can see where it turns all bright. That's the top of the fireplace and the flue. And the hottest point is 495. Then when I get back down to there, you can tell that it's warmed up. But obviously not as warm as that. You know, we wouldn't want the bricks to get to like 400 degrees. So there, in depending on which brick I aim at, it's 42 to 50, 60 degrees. So far I'm going to call it a win. It's only been about half an hour, 45 minutes since I put this all together and checked it a few times. But let's get to patching a hole. Now, the next main thing we have to fix, otherwise all these things to heat this place are for nothing, is the attic access. There's no cover to it. So what we're going to do is, let me show you. This is 2-inch rigid foam. My dad had it left over from a project. We are going to cut it and fit inside here, and we're going to put a weight on it to hold this down, because there is like a draft going through there, which is good. You know, you want roof ventilation. But we have trusses. The supports for our trusses are running up at an angle right here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make the hole just a little bit smaller. So we'll be able to just cut this foam and it'll just sit right on top, and then we can make a nice trap door at some later point. So we want to get this sealed up sooner than later. We have our fans going, we have the heat sink working, but it's all for nothing if it just goes right out the roof. Now we got to modify it a little bit, our opening, and then we'll cut this piece to fit nice and snug, and one more small project done here on the farm, but we're not there yet to call it done, so let's get to it. Put 2 2x4s in here. We're going to call them 22 3/8. So I'm going to go down and cut those and bring them up with the nailer, and we'll keep moving along. Now with my 2x4s, I wanted to bring it out just a little bit to go around this. Oh, I guess I have to go get my hammer. I didn't think I would need it. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, I got that right where I want it, nice and snug. So I'm going to nail it up. But now that gives me a nice 1.5 inch lip to cut my foam and have it sit on. Also with this, I can throw some insulation up here and drywall this, but I have a feeling it'll just be a piece of wood when I make my nice hatch here. Alright, so let's get some measurements up there. The measurements I want are, I'm just going to go a little shy of the opening, and so we're going to go 25 by 43. Right, so we'll lay our foam down and cut it down. So we're going to go like this. cut it all the way. Now let's see how good this snaps. That came out pretty awesome. And now we'll go to 43. Alright, I'm happy with this. It's cut really nice. Alright, let's go dry fit this. Now here's my piece. Figure out how to fit it in here best. Apparently, I made it. No. My cut angles out like that, so I have to take a good 1/4 inch off of this. Alright. Now I took a 1/4 inch off to one side. It's a little crooked. Alright. That's what we wanted. But what we're going to do now is add some weight to it and in like a bar so I can pull it down easier. And I'll show you what I'm up to. Now, being that there's a draft above there, I want this not to move and rattle and just make noise if it does, and just basically stay in place. So I have some scrap 3/4 galvanized pipe. So I'm just going to poke a hole with a screwdriver through at either end of the pipe. So now, once I have that, I'm going to take a piece of leftover conduit I had from doing some wiring in here. We're going to go just poke that through at both ends. Just pull it tight. Right, so I'm leaving it so it's about 1.5 inches, so it's almost like a handle down here. Now let's fold it back over. And now we're going to feed the wires through our pipe. We're just going to lay it in place. And then we're just going to tie it off. And by tying it off, I just mean twist it a bunch. Alright, so I got to pull it back a little bit. Alright, that'll be good. So I'm just going to twist this around a bunch. So now this is held right on top. And it's, you know, it's not heavy, it's like a pound or two, but it's enough to keep this from moving around. And it also serves a second purpose. So now when I go to put this up in place, I can just pull this back down and not pull through the foam and break it. Right. Let's just tuck this back in. You don't want to make it too heavy where it's difficult to do above your head or have it fall on your head, but just enough to hold it in place. Alright, let's put this in and clean up. Now I can hold it like a shield, put it up right where I need it to go. Hold it in place, and that's great. You know, it's not going to blow up if there's a big gust of wind on this side, on the bottom side, and move it and I don't notice it. And this is out of the way for when I build my hatch. Yeah, I'm going to call this a win. Yeah, I'm going to call this one done probably for the season. I doubt I'll get to that, but now all of our heat won't be going through. But let's check it with the temp probe and the therm. So it says the ceiling is about 50 degrees, the wall is about 50 degrees, and the styrofoam's 52. So that's good. It's holding everything at the same temp. Yeah. All right, let's check it with the thermal cam now. Now with the thermal cam, that right there are our lights over there. And those are pretty warm. So we basically want consistency throughout on our ceiling. It's not perfect, it's by no means, but I'm aiming. Oop. Now on the thermal cam, I'm aiming at the ceiling. Oop, let's try and get it in frame for you. Now you can see the 2x4 is dark and the foam is like an orange red. So that tells me that the foam is doing its job. And now this is great. This is one more project done here. It's going to probably make a difference. We're supposed to be in the low 30s during the day all this coming week, and into the 20s in the evening. So hopefully with the heat sink, that'll keep this place just a little warmer, and then it just won't be venting off right out the ceiling. So yeah, you know, this wasn't a hard project. You know, something to look for at your own home or in your shops, but this should make a difference for us. All right, now that all these top bricks here are all nice and warm, our fireplace only goes to about here. No, it's sitting on cinder blocks right now, so right there. So down here is still nice and cool. So these ones are still at 46, 50 degrees, but these upper ones now are at 85, and this top one is at 150. So there's some major heat pumping out of this thing. Like the flue there is actually right at the back of the stove, right up top there, is 500 degrees. So that's makes me feel a lot better that this brick's here. You can actually lean something against it for a hot second if it falls against it. I'm not saying I'm going to put stuff against it, but now when this fire goes out, this stuff is still going to be nice and warm, and I'll just keep radiating. So I hope with working out here every day and having a fire going, it'll warm up the whole place a lot faster, a lot more even. That's my goal, but I got about good 22 more blocks to cut to fill in everywhere, which I'm sure will help a little bit. I'm happy with just stacking them. Like this isn't going anywhere. I'm shaking pretty hard, and if something leans against it, it's block leaning against the hot stove, so that's just fine. All right, overall very happy with it. Thanks for tuning in today. Glad we got this done, or well, figure out what we need to do to finish it, and then we got the attic access covered, and yeah, we're having some family over tonight. We're gonna eat a good lasagna Sparkle made. Probably at some point she'll put a recipe on or make a video for you for Sparkle's Kitchen. She enjoys doing that for everybody. But thanks for all the new subscribers and the old subscribers, and thanks for watching till the end of the video. All right, thanks everybody.